Hi everyone, welcome to Human Lifespan Nutrition Assessment 1B. So I thought I'd just do a bit of an overview for you because we had lots of questions and the tutors have been emailing me, etc. So we thought we'd just do a little bit of an overview of what's expected because this is a video presentation, so a little bit different maybe than what you've done before. However, if you've done Human Nutrition 2, you will be familiar with doing a video presentation. Now you can use Zoom, so I'm using Zoom at the moment. You can use Canva, you can use PowerPoint. The really important thing is you must save it as an MP4 file. So Zoom automatically saves as an MP4 file. You can save it in PowerPoint, but it must be saved as an MP4 file. Otherwise, we don't get the video going similar, like streaming, etc. So a couple of things you need to submit. You need to submit the MP4 file, and you also need to submit the deck of your slides. So you can do that as a PowerPoint presentation, as I said, on Canva as well. You just need to submit that deck, and you can submit multiple documents when you upload your assessment. So make sure you've got all your documents ready and you upload those together. You'll also need to submit a PDF of your nutritional assessment for the case studies. So this could be, you can use, you've all got access to FoodWorks, but if you're having trouble with FoodWorks, you know, students have asked, can they use things such as Chronometer? Absolutely fine. We just want to see some nutritional analysis and that you can actually explain what you're seeing, what the actual information is. All right, so let's go on. Only a few slides to go through. It's only 10 minutes in duration. There is penalties if you go over 10 minutes. So you might have to record a couple of times just to make sure that you're within the time limit. All right, so you can do plus or minus 10, which means you can go 9 minutes or 11 minutes. Okay, so you do lose marks if you're going over. We stop assessing you at 11 minutes. Okay, so it's really important that you stick to the time. Must, as I said down here, you'll see it must be submitted as an MP4 file. Okay, that's really important. Must be your own work, so you can't get someone else to do this for you. You must have a video because you're going to film yourself. Please do not use your phones. You must use, you could use a camera on your computer. You could use, if you haven't got a camera on your computer, you'd have to film it, say, with a video camera, but please do not use your phone because it doesn't really work because you've got to do a PowerPoint presentation or a slide deck, etc. So it's 10 minutes. As I said, you can use Zoom. Zoom, you can have a free account. You can use Canva, you can use Prezi, but you need to submit the deck. All right, that's really important. Some students have asked, do I have to submit a workbook? It's up to you. You're not marked on the workbook, but we want to see the slide deck. So you can, in your slides, you can actually put in notes as well, like in the bottom of the thing, or you might just have your own notes. You don't need to submit those, but you do need to submit the slide deck. We've got here a bit of a presentation style in terms of, you know, having a bit of an introduction of who you are, outlining what you're presenting, you know, a little bit about the main points of the case study, and then boom, boom, boom. How many slides do you need? Well, you've got 5 case studies. Probably around 10 slides would be appropriate. You know, probably, you know, your reference slides, you're not going to present those. So they're the additional slides. So probably 2 slides per case study, an introduction slide, your references. So you're going to have a little bit more at the start, a bit longer than that as well. Make sure you have a minimum of 10 references in total. Try to use, if you can, some primary resources. You can use some secondary, but avoid just overusing the secondary resources on that one. All right, as I said, there is a penalty if you go over. So there's your penalties. This is listed in the assessment brief. Also, if you hand your assessment in late, for every 24 hours, you will lose 10% of the total grade available, which would mean, you know, it's worth 100 marks, etc. Then you would be losing 10% per day. All right, so let's have a look at the case studies. So the case studies, as I said, go around about 2 slides per case study. You'll need to watch that video. And then you're going to create a bit of a summary on childhood obesity. Make sure you put some stats in there, do some slides, put together using tables, your Excel spreadsheets, you can pop that in there, as in like the table formatting, putting the statistics worldwide and Australia. And then you'd be answering some of the underlying drivers. How you format this is really up to you. Think of this as actually a presentation. So you need to refer back to some research and government statistics in your summary. So the summary is, you don't write summary, but it's like you talking about what you've actually found. Case study 2, this one is the lady who's probably got, she's hypertensive, menopausal, etc. You need to analyse her diet. So you've got her current diet there. You've got some anthropometric measurements. You also have her physical activity level. So she engages in 30 minutes walks twice a week. So she's pretty inactive. So you need to work out what is her physical activity level. It's really low. So you look at physical activity level over a 24-hour period, and you would look that it's actually very low. So you analyze her diet, and then you're going to look at her anthropometric measurements and how may this relate to her current health issues, such as she's 142/90, which is hypertensive. So how does that relate to her current condition? Then you're going to analyze her diet. So you're going to use some kind of dietary analysis. You're going to comment on any imbalances, excess, insufficiencies. That information will be highlighted for you, but we also want to hear what your thoughts are. What's the imbalances? What sort of suggestions would you recommend for her management of hypertension? Is her current diet exacerbating that condition? What's the current, research on current literature on hypertension and diet? And what sort of dietary and lifestyle modifications would you recommend to this patient? Case study 3, this one's on aging. So you're going to be, imagine you're presenting, you are going to be presenting because you're doing something. So imagine this is to a group of elderly in aged care. Nurses that work with elderly. So you're talking about the importance of protein. And these people have an understanding of health and disease within the elderly population. So you're going to go through each of those points. So, and talking a little bit about that, you might have some tables in here as well with some recommendations. You might be talking about where's the limitations of this as well. Then you'd also be talking about people that train regularly and how does that impact their protein needs. Make sure your research has been published in the last 5 years. So whatever you do, please don't put papers in there that are more than 10 years old because things change. Then we have the next one, which is case study 4. So case study 4 is, this one is another dietary analysis. You've got the information about a patient. You've got his anthropometric measurements. He's in a high stress sedentary occupation. He was exercising, but doesn't seem like he's actually doing anything at the moment. He manages his stress by drinking alcohol every night. He's got poor sleep habits. And so you can talk about sleep as well. Slightly elevated blood pressure. Currently does little or no exercise. So you've got the questions there, you've got his 24-hour recall, pop that into some kind of dietary assessment, go through each of those. Just remember that when you do the dietary assessment, this needs to be submitted as a PDF. So just a reminder, you'll be submitting 3 files. You'll be submitting an MP4 file, which is the video recording. You'll be submitting a slide deck of whatever you use to create your slides, and you'll be submitting a PDF of your dietary analysis for the case studies, the ones you need to assess. And then finally, the case study 5, this one is you're going to be going through the life expectancy, so comparing that with the chronic disease statistics for Indigenous populations and non-Indigenous. So you can present this information in tables and graphs. However, you still need to talk about this. So you can't just put graphs up there. You need to actually discuss that. And you're going to identify 2 nutritional components to contribute to these statistics and summarize them briefly and make sure you're using the latest statistics. So you're going to be looking at government reports and look at those statistics, and then you need to reference obviously your resources correctly. I'd probably do, if it was me presenting, have a summary slide and some key points to finish it off, depending on how you go with time. Not crucial, but that's usually how you would do a presentation. Then you have your reference slides at the end but you don't need to talk about your reference slides. Now, if you have questions, there will be some of your tutoring staff running these drop-in sessions. I highly recommend that you attend these. If you can't attend them, please post up your questions in the discussion area within your group and ask your lecturers if you've got, you have some concerns or questions, etc. Good luck, everyone, and we look forward to reading your next or seeing your next reports.